Hey everyone, I thought I'd do a video on this topic and just give my opinion because I see this question a lot in pagan within groups that I'm in, online groups, where people are saying they're just getting back into the craft or they're just starting out on this path and asking where they should start learning. And I'm an eclectic pagan. I'm not Wiccan, I'm not following like a specific, I don't even know what you call it, but path, such as like Norse paganism. And my opinion is that if you are wanting to go that route or learn from that route, rather than start learning about Norse paganism or Wicca specifically, because since I'm not in one of those, I'm not following one of those paths, I feel like I can't really speak on that subject. My personal feeling is wherever you feel called to start, whatever is interesting you, is appearing interesting to you, whatever is intriguing you, what your intuition is telling you. So there are so many things to learn and that you can get interested in. So if you feel really drawn to crystals, you're curious about crystals, start there, learning about crystals. If you're interested in the history of the religion, of pagan religions, or certain paths, start there. And the only other thing I wanted to really mention is with yourself. I think it's very important to learn about yourself and keep learning about yourself and your desires, your motives, your shadow side, because when you start doing magic and rituals and various healing, because a lot of pagans and Wiccans do, it's a spiritual path, it's a religion, it's a spiritual path, and a lot of what people are trying to do is heal themselves and feel good. So it's important to know or have a sense of yourself and what your true desires are beyond the surface level, and what will make you happy and what you're trying to heal from in order to do that. If you, for instance, just start learning about candle magic and you're living a life where you're pretty unaware of yourself, you might just think like you want this or that, you want a new car, you want money, and go and do rituals and spells for that, and find out later on that it wasn't really right for you at the time. It's not what you really wanted. You might do a spell or ritual for a relationship and then realize when you get it that it's not actually what you want. What you were looking for was to feel more whole and complete and at peace. So I think it's very important, not just in the beginning, but throughout your life, to continue learning about yourself, as well as learning about the various arts involved in magic, involved in paganism. It's also kind of important to develop guidelines and boundaries for yourself, ethical standards, and learn about the universe, the laws of the universe. The Wiccan Reed says that harm none, do as thou will, and that everything you do is going to come back to you times 3. that, I said I'm not Wiccan, and the reason for that is in part because I have no evidence that it comes back to you times 3 versus times 1 or times 7. Okay, it's just not where I feel drawn to. But I don't practice manipulative magic or forcing my will on others or trying to do things that are evil. It is important, I think, to form ethical guidelines about and boundaries, and to not try and force your will on others, because it really doesn't work generally, for one thing. For another, it is not in alignment with the law of the universe, and there are ramifications for it. It does come back to you. It's not ethical magic. It's not considered ethical. And so developing some guidelines I think are pretty important. Otherwise, if you're rather self-aware and you don't have any ethical guidelines in what you do, you're apt to start trying to do things from a very ego baseline perspective that involve trying to control other people, like trying to cast love spells over a specific person and those sorts of things. And like I said, there are consequences to that, and you might have a hard time and struggle. So that's an important place to kind of start investigating what your boundaries are and your guidelines are going to be. I also wouldn't recommend trying to wake the dead. Be careful even with trying to communicate with the dead in the beginning, or those in other realms like the astral realm, without inner work, spiritual development and inner work. If you're vibrating at a low frequency, you're going to be a match to low vibrational energies and beings that are in a low vibrational place. This is where the whole demon possession thing comes in, is because often people are talking to, well, they've attracted lower astral plane beings to them, and they can, do clario audience type stuff, people hearing voices that are driving them mad, stuff of that nature. I would also, caution against getting really, this is basically the same thing, but getting like really passionately connected and then doing like really passionate rituals towards gods, goddesses, deities that you haven't built any formal relationship with and don't know very much about, because it can be a situation of you offending them, you not understanding that they have a dark side or dark aspects to them, and you vibrating at that same frequency and causing issues for yourself. It's not to say you don't start with deities or gods or goddesses if that's what you feel called to do, but I'm thinking like, you may want to read up about them, study them, do some meditations, ask some questions, just be receptive to what you get. Start off with small things like making an altar for them, giving them a small offering of something you think they'll like that's ethical, rather than making a grand ceremony, in the woods and throwing all of your passion and dedication at them, and having not researched them at all, you generally speaking don't want to like offer Mars, the god of passion and drive and war and all of that, daisies. It's kind of offensive, generally speaking. So, alright, those are all my cautionary things and opinions on that. So that's my opinion, for what it's worth. And that's all I wanted to share in this video. So, merry part, merry meet again.